When a man or woman greets the morning with a true smile, the air itself seems to shift. A nod to the neighbor at the gate, the soft touch of a kiss placed on a child's forehead, a word of warmth given to the one you love. Such moments appear small, yet they set the entire day to music. They are not routines. They are signals to the heart, reminders of what truly matters, and they quietly determine the posture of the soul as the hours unfold. The spirit you carry in the morning is not decoration. It is the architecture of your day. Rise burdened, and the hours feel like chains. Rise with a lightness of heart, and those same hours become wings. Achievement does not begin in boardrooms or crowded streets. It begins in that first choice of the morning, whether you enter the day as a weary traveler or as a grateful participant in the gift of living. Throughout the history, we believe that first success, then happiness. We imagine that once we achieve the position, once we earn the money, once we acquire the recognition, then, finally, we can allow ourselves to feel joy. But it's exactly the opposite. Happiness is not the result of success. It is the cause of it. A man who works only for the reward finds himself weary long before he reaches it. But the man who works from joy, who rises with gratitude already in his heart, carries a power that no obstacle can diminish. He is not running toward happiness. He is running with it, and that makes all the difference. Two craftsmen at their benches. One begins his work with a heavy spirit, telling himself, "When this task is done, then I will feel better." His hands move, but his heart lags behind. Another approaches his work humming softly, content in the doing, proud of the craft, grateful for the chance to contribute. His hands move with steadiness, his mind clear, his hours alive with meaning. Who do you think will not only finish his work more skillfully but also enjoy the fruit of his labor? The answer is evident. Success, in truth, is not a ladder climbed with grim determination, but a garden cultivated with care. Joy is the soil in which effort grows strong. Gratitude is the sunlight that draws out potential. Peace of mind is the water that nourishes every action. Without these, even the tallest ladder leads to emptiness. With them, even small steps become victories. The world often praises the man who drives himself relentlessly, who sacrifices every ounce of his spirit in the pursuit of a prize. Yet when he arrives, exhausted and joyless, he finds the prize is hollow. Contrast him with the man who carries happiness as his companion along the road. His days are not postponed until achievement. They are rich while he journeys. And because of this, his energy is greater, his vision clearer, his success more enduring. Happiness is not a finish line. It is the fuel. It is not the crown at the end. It is the courage at the beginning. It is the one resource that multiplies when shared, strengthens when practiced, and grows when acknowledged. To place it after success is to rob yourself of the very thing that makes success possible. Success basically follows happiness, not the other way around. It is the cheerful heart that endures, the grateful mind that produces, the joyful spirit that inspires others and attracts opportunity. A man who waits for success before allowing himself to be happy waits forever. A man who chooses happiness now carries success already in his pocket. Happiness is not the reward of the journey. Happiness is the beginning of it, and only those who understand this truth discover that the road ahead is not a burden to be endured, but a song to be sung. One day, one choice, one smile at a time. The mindset shift that transforms joy into achievement. The way most men and women approach life is backward. They say, "When I succeed, then I will be happy." Yet success approached in this manner becomes like a horizon. You walk toward it, but it always seems just out of reach. The promotion arrives, but with it comes new pressures. The purchase is made, but quickly loses its shine. The applause fades, and suddenly another stage must be sought. And so they live as if happiness is always out there, never here, never now. But there is another way of living, one that begins with a shift in the mind so profound it changes everything that follows. It is this: instead of treating happiness as the prize at the end, you treat it as the power at the start. Think of a man setting out on a journey. One traveler begins weary, muttering to himself, convinced the road will only be worth it once he reaches the destination. Another begins with a song in his heart, grateful for the chance to walk at all. Both walk the same miles, face the same weather, climb the same hills. But who arrives with more strength? Who notices the beauty along the way? Who draws others to join him, inspired by his spirit? The answer is obvious: the one who carried joy from the beginning. Joy transforms achievement because it changes the quality of effort. Work done under the shadow of discontent becomes toil. Work done with a cheerful heart becomes craft. The hours stretch endlessly for the man who labors with resentment, but they fly for the one who works with gladness. It is not the weight of the task that determines how it feels. It is the attitude with which it is carried. This is not sentimentality. It is practical truth. A positive, grateful state of mind sharpens attention, strengthens resilience, and multiplies creativity. When you are happy, you are not drained by bitterness or paralyzed by fear. Your energy is free to be directed fully into what you do. Success is no longer an escape from misery. It is the natural outcome of joy expressed through action. Look at the lives of those who built legacies that endure. You will find not only discipline and determination, but also a profound sense of joy in their work. The artist who delights in each stroke of the brush leaves behind masterpieces. The leader who sees service as an honor inspires loyalty and progress. The craftsman who takes pride in his handiwork builds more than objects. He builds trust, reputation, and respect. Their achievements were not weighed down by misery. They were lifted by the spirit with which they labored. Stop chasing happiness at the end of the road. Carry it with you at the beginning. Say to yourself, I will not wait to be joyful. I will begin in joy and let success flow from it. Because in the end, joy does not follow achievement. Achievement follows joy. How gratitude and positivity fuel productivity. Gratitude is often spoken of as a virtue of the heart, but it is also one of the sharpest tools of the mind. A man who cultivates gratitude sees resources where others see lack. He sees opportunities where others see obstacles. He works not from a spirit of scarcity, but from a spirit of abundance. And because of this, his efforts multiply. Productivity is not merely a matter of time management, it is a matter of energy management. Two men may sit at the same desk for the same number of hours, yet one accomplishes twice as much. Why? Because his energy flows freely, undistracted by resentment, untouched by bitterness, unchained by complaint. Gratitude clears the channels of the mind. It turns the focus away from what is missing and centers it firmly on what can be done with what is present. Positivity functions in the same way. It is not blind optimism. It is disciplined attention. It is the decision to believe that effort counts, that problems have solutions, that today's work is a bridge to tomorrow's harvest. The man who approaches his day with positivity does not waste time arguing with reality. He accepts it, works with it, and improves upon it. His hours are not consumed by complaints. They are invested in solutions. The science of human energy is simple. What the mind dwells upon, the body follows. A man who fills his thoughts with resentment finds his strength diminished. His shoulders droop, his hands grow heavy, his progress slows. But a man who fills his thoughts with gratitude feels his body respond with vigor. His back straightens, his steps quicken, his hands are eager for the task. Gratitude and positivity act as fuel. They transform the same hours into richer harvests. It is no coincidence that the most productive men are often those who begin their days with thankfulness. They know that gratitude is not passive, it is active power. It sharpens attention, multiplies creativity, and draws cooperation from others. People are naturally drawn to those who radiate positivity, and this very magnetism opens doors that force alone cannot push through. If you want greater productivity, begin not with the clock, but with the heart. Fill it with gratitude. If you want to multiply results, begin not with more hours, but with a clearer attitude. Choose positivity. For while skills and tools matter, it is gratitude and positivity that determine whether your effort is a trickle or a flood. Happiness makes a man more productive, but productivity pursued without happiness often leaves him empty. The man who is grateful, positive, and joyful does not simply do more. He does it better, and he enjoys it while doing so. His success is not purchased at the cost of his spirit, it is built in harmony with it. Gratitude fuels, positivity directs, and together they make work not just effort, but achievement. The link between happiness, health, and long-term success. A man may possess wealth, recognition, even influence, but if he has lost his health, what has he truly gained? What good is the mansion if its owner cannot climb the stairs without pain? What good is the full calendar if the body groans under the weight of fatigue? Happiness and health are not side ornaments to success. They are the very foundation upon which it stands. Happiness is not only a state of mind, it is a medicine to the body. The man who carries joy in his heart carries strength in his step. His immune system is fortified, his energy replenished, his mind clear. Physicians and philosophers alike have long observed that cheerfulness does more to preserve youth and vigor than any tonic or treatment. A troubled mind, on the other hand, drains the body long before age has had its way. Consider the worker who rises each morning dreading the day ahead. He eats quickly, thinks anxiously, and moves reluctantly. His body, hearing this constant command of tension, begins to weaken. Stress carves deep lines into his face, steals hours of rest from his nights, and makes every task seem heavier than it is. Now consider another man who rises with purpose, who greets his work not as punishment, but as a chance to build, to serve, to create. His body responds differently. His pulse steadies. His rest restores him. His effort feels lighter. The difference is not in the nature of the work, but in the spirit with which it is undertaken. Happiness, then, is not a luxury. It is a strategy. It is the invisible hand that protects the body and strengthens the will. Men who cultivate happiness, who find joy in small victories and gratitude in simple blessings, carry a shield against the wear and tear of life. And this shield allows them to persist longer, to endure trials with resilience, and to remain effective over years and decades. For success is not a sprint, it is a long-distance journey. And what sustains the traveler is not merely ambition, but health of body and spirit. Wealth may be built in bursts, but enduring success, success that spans a lifetime, requires steady energy, clear thinking, and inner contentment. The man who neglects his happiness may build quickly, but he burns out just as fast. The man who honors it builds slowly, but what he builds lasts. There is a harmony between happiness, health, and success, and it cannot be broken without consequence. To neglect happiness is to wound health. To neglect health is to shorten success, but to honor both is to multiply life's returns. So the wise man asks not only, "How much can I earn?" but also, "How well can I live?" He asks not only, "How quickly can I rise?" but, "How long can I endure?" The secret is not more pressure, but more balance, not more speed, but more alignment. The happiest man often achieves the most, not because he is chasing success, but because he is sustained by joy and health along the way. His wealth is not only counted in coins, but in laughter, in vitality, in peace of mind. Happiness feeds health. Health fuels effort. Effort sustained over years produces lasting success. This is the cycle. Break it, and a man suffers. Honor it, and he flourishes. Practical ways to cultivate happiness daily. Happiness is often spoken of as if it were a gift that falls upon us by chance, something dependent on circumstance, fortune, or the favor of others. Happiness is not a gift. It is a practice. It is cultivated, just as a gardener cultivates his soil, and it responds faithfully to daily care. A man need not wait for a grand event to feel joy. He can begin today, in small, deliberate acts. One of the first ways is through gratitude. Each morning, before the burdens of the day have time to press upon him, he may pause and count, not his troubles, but his blessings. The warmth of a roof above his head, the strength in his body, the love of a family member, the simple chance to try again. These are riches often ignored by those who chase only gold. Gratitude reorients the mind. It turns the eyes from what is missing to what is present, and in doing so, it unlocks contentment. Another daily practice is kindness. A smile given to a stranger, a word of encouragement to a friend, a patient ear offered to someone in need. These cost little, yet they enrich the giver as much as the receiver. For happiness, like light, cannot be hoarded. It grows brightest when shared. The man who carries kindness in his pocket never travels empty-handed, for he knows that every act of goodwill sows seeds that return to him in abundance. Discipline, too, is a surprising ally of happiness. Many imagine happiness as ease and leisure, but true happiness is tied to progress. When a man sets a worthy goal and moves toward it, even by a small step each day, he feels a sense of direction, a quiet satisfaction. An idle day may bring temporary pleasure, but a purposeful day brings lasting joy. Thus, keeping one's word to oneself, whether in health, in work, or in study, builds the kind of happiness that cannot be shaken. Simplicity is another key. Much unhappiness comes not from lack, but from excess. Too many distractions, too many comparisons, too many unnecessary desires. A man who learns to simplify his wants, to live within his means, to enjoy the plain as well as the grand, finds peace more readily. The happiest homes are not always the largest, but the ones filled with laughter, gratitude, and harmony. And lastly, there is reflection. At the close of each day, a man may pause to look back, not with regret, but with learning. He may ask, what went well? Whom did I help? What did I gain, not in possessions, but in wisdom? These quiet moments of reflection strengthen tomorrow's resolve and deepen today's contentment. Happiness, then, is not left to chance. It is shaped by gratitude, strengthened by kindness, fueled by discipline, simplified by contentment, and deepened by reflection. Practiced daily, these habits form a reservoir of joy that no storm can easily drain. The man who commits to these practices discovers that happiness is not a fleeting visitor. It is a faithful companion, walking with him through the seasons of life. Why true wealth is living with joy and purpose. When most people hear the word wealth, their minds leap instantly to money. They picture vast accounts, grand homes, gleaming automobiles, and treasures locked away. But ask yourself this: what is the value of riches in the bank if the owner rises each morning with dread in his heart? What is the worth of a fortune if the man who holds it has no peace of mind, no harmony in his home, no sense of meaning in his days? That is not wealth. It is poverty disguised in gold. True wealth begins where money ends. It is measured not by the weight of one's possessions, but by the lightness of one's spirit. The truly wealthy man is not the one who has accumulated the most, but the one who wakes each day with joy, lives each hour with purpose, and retires each night with peace. He may or may not have riches, but he has something money cannot purchase, a life that feels worthwhile. Purpose is the compass of wealth. Without it, life becomes a restless wandering, endless striving without satisfaction. A man may labor tirelessly, climbing higher and higher, only to find he has scaled the wrong mountain. But the man with purpose knows why he works, why he strives, and why he sacrifices. Every effort gains meaning, every setback becomes instruction, and every victory tastes sweeter, because it is aligned with something greater than self. And joy, simple, radiant joy, is the currency of this kind of wealth. A child's laughter, a quiet walk in the evening air, the satisfaction of work well done, the love of family and friends, these cannot be purchased, yet they enrich the heart more than any vault of gold. The man who can pause to feel gratitude for these gifts is already rich, regardless of his bank balance. The tragedy of our age is that so many chase symbols of wealth while neglecting its essence. They exhaust their health in pursuit of money, only to spend their money later trying to buy back their health. They sacrifice relationships for ambition, only to discover too late that relationships are the very fabric of happiness. They wait for joy to arrive after success, not realizing that joy itself is success. Real wealth is living in such a way that, when the end comes, a man can say not only, "I made a living," but also, "I lived well." It is to leave behind not merely possessions, but memories, wisdom, and love. It is to be remembered not for what you owned, but for who you were and how you lived. Purpose directs us. Joy sustains us. Together they form a kind of wealth that time cannot erode, that loss cannot strip away, and that death itself cannot diminish. This is the fortune available to every man and woman willing to pursue it, not in distant tomorrows, but in the choices of today. So happiness is not the reward at the end of success. It is the foundation on which success is built. Wealth is not in what we hold, but in how we live. Begin each day with joy. Walk it with purpose, and you will already have the richest life a man or woman can own.